Well, we are living in a world where we think leadership is a position to it. Now, welcome to Online Classroom, a platform that seems to challenge that kind of a narrative where we think that leadership is is an opportunity to it. Now, in these online classes, we share with you ideas and insights that can help us to understand what is leadership and be able to read effectively in a credible manner in a way that is going to impact the society around us. My name is John Kimani. Welcome. Now, last week we talked about 12 ways in which we can be able to read difficult people. And remember what we said? We said that difficult people are all over the place. They are the next door neighbor. They are also part of the society. It might be your boss. It might be your spouse. It might be your brother, your sister, it might be your relative, it must be, it is anybody. There's no nation, there's no county, there's no area, there's no geographical area in which difficult people live. And so it is very important, we said, to know how to deal with difficult people. And Doug Howard, in his book Leading Difficult People, shares around more than 20 one practical ways in which we can be able to lead difficult people. And so far, we said that don't ask people to do what you can't do yourself. Otherwise, it becomes hypocritical. If you cannot do what you are asking people to do, then people are going to be difficult. And so it is very important for us to be able to do that which we ask people to do. Number two, we said help leaders around you to be better and bigger than they are. Number three, we said change their minds, the way they think, the way they talk. Change the way they think, because if you are able to change the way they think, then you are going to improve their lives. We make people follow you gradually without complaining, and the only way they can follow you without complaining is when you become their example. Make followers to love you. Be likable, be presentable. Don't hit them on their heads, and you're going to love you. Go to the top with everyone. Don't leave some people behind, because the moment when you leave some people behind, you are creating an opportunity for them to kill you, for them to eat you, for them to finish you. Jesus went to the top with everyone. Number 7, grow your influence. Make sure that you grow your influence to your neighbors, to the people above you, to those that are below you, to your peers. Make sure that you grow your influence all around, and then deal with discontentment immediately. Don't give it a foot. In other words, make sure that you don't allow what we call discontentment to grow. If you notice it, deal with it. And we gave ways in which we can be able to deal with the discontentment. Handle criticism wisely. We said criticism is part of the ministry, and it is very important for us to be able to know how to handle it. And then we talked about dealing with familiarity, the demon that kills anointing. Identify the different followers in your organization. And then number 12, we talked about keep the people together at all times. Now let's go to tip number 13. It says fight battles you can win. Fight battles you can win. In other words, don't begin a project that you know you cannot finish. In other words, count the cost before you engage in any venture, in any project. Ensure that you have considered what are the stakes, and do I have the capacity, do I have the grace, do I have the time, do I have the resources to complete the project. Otherwise, you're going to become a laughing stock. When you fail, we need to realize that your followers are going to fail and your enemies are going to be happy. So when do you not need to fight? Because as we deal with difficult people around us, we really need to ask ourselves, am I able to handle this difficult personality? Do I have the resources, or is it worth? And we need to we need to say, don't fight in three situations. Number one, when the odds of winning are against you. When the odds of winning are against you. When the odds of winning are actually against you, please ensure that you avoid fighting. You know, in 1 Samuel chapter 21, David found himself trapped in the Philistine camp. And what happened? When he found himself in the Philistine camp, and he knew that he was trapped, there's no way he could escape, there was no way he could fight the enemy, he pretended to be man. In other words, he surrendered. He said, this is a battle that I cannot fight. When the odds are against you, please don't fight. When if it is in a company and they want to fire you, and whoever is engineering the smear campaign is a friend of the boss, and then don't give a fight, because that is a losing battle. Better surrender and just walk away and walk peacefully without shedding blood. And then number two, when the referee is against you, when the seed of loyalty enters the heart of your betrayer, when that whoever is betraying is disloyal and chooses to disrespect you and chooses not to change, then this is again a losing battle. No wonder Jesus Christ did not try to woo or try to fight Judas Iscariot, because he knew that this is a losing battle. So when the referee is against you and the right man and everybody is against you, please just keep quiet. No wonder Jesus did not even answer Herod, because he knew that this is a losing battle. And then number three, don't give a fight when somebody hands in resignation letter. Don't fight. If somebody comes and says, I am resigning, please actually assist them to leave. When the house girl comes and says, Mama, I want to leave today, allow them to leave. Senior pastor, when your junior pastor comes and says, I want to leave, I want to resign ministry, don't encourage them. Don't tell them, brother, don't give up. No, when they hand in their letter of resignation, allow them to leave immediately. Politician, when your PA, personal assistant, or your secretary or your bodyguard says, I want to resign, allow them to leave immediately. Because when you keep them, the seeds of disloyalty works against you, and you might find yourself having a lot of trouble. And some of these things we've learned them from experience. So if you ask us, we'll tell you that is very true, and it is very important for you to be able not to fight when the odds are against you. That is very, very important for you to be able to realize that. And then another thing we are saying is that think about the things that you see around you. Think about the things that you see around you. This is tip number 14. We are saying walk with your eyes open. Okay? Walk with your eyes open. That is very important. You know, we are living in a time when there's a lot of things that are happening. And there are trends, there are patterns, there are behaviors that are happening. And as a leader, you really need to understand what is actually happening around you. And you need to ask yourself several questions. You need to ask yourself, why are some people successful while others are failing? You need to understand, like in this world of corona, you really need to ask yourself, why is it that some people are getting richer and while others are actually closing down? Why is it that some businesses are picking up while others are winding up? And what are those businesses that are picking up? and what is the cause of them picking up. And for those businesses that are winding up, what is causing them to wind up? And is there anything, is corona against a certain kind, is corona favoring one line of business and actually not favoring another line of business? You really need to think about those things. And so what we are saying here, in summary, in nutshell, we are simply saying that you really need to be a deep thinker, because thinkers are in short supply. But again, thinkers are the people who are able to supply the what we call the solutions of the world today. If you're not a thinker, then the world has no space to you. You really need to ask yourself, why are some people disloyal? What is making some people to be disloyal? What are the options open for me to make an impact in the world? You need to think about that. You need to ask a very critical question. Where is the world leading? As a politician, as a pastor, as a businessman, you really need to answer the question, where is the world going? In other words, you really need to do SWOT analysis. We need to analyze the strengths that we have, vis-a-vis the weaknesses. We need to look at the opportunities that COVID-19 is presenting to us, because COVID is not closing every opportunity. It is actually opening some opportunity. There is some a first opportunity that is being opened by COVID, especially in the virtual space. There is a lot of opportunities in the virtual space thanks to corona. But again, what are the threats? What are the dangers? What are some of those things that we really need that stand against us in the event that we launch this project? This is very important. And as a leader, as a politician, as a pastor, you really need, as a businessman, you really need to think around that. Where is the world going? You really need to identify the trends. You really need to see the patterns. You really need to understand the numbers. Where are the people going? Where are the people? Why are people living this place? What do we stand to gain if we pursue this kind of a line? We need to think and think, because the world will create space for those people that are thinking. You need to ask, who are on my network? Because we are saying your network is your net worth. We need to say that again. Your network is your net worth. You really need to identify who are your network. What are their capacities? What is it that they can do? How far can they take you? And we are saying we really need to, and we are saying we need to think about the things we see around. Remember, God has given you eyes, and you need to use those eyes very well. And then finally for today, tip number 15 is use symptoms and signs to guide you. Be like a doctor. When you visit a doctor will look for the signs and the symptoms, will ask you, how are you feeling? For how long have you been feeling like this? Where in particular are you feeling pain? In other words, the doctor will be picking signs and symptoms so that he can arrive at the correct he can be able to diagnose what is ailing you. He cannot be able to give a prescription or the right prescription if he or she has not actually understood the symptoms and the signs. And you spend a lot of time trying to understand the symptoms and signs, and no wonder sometimes when the doctor is not very sure, he will prescribe several tests so that he can be able to arrive at what exactly is ailing you. Remember, we cannot be able to fix a problem if we do not understand what is causing it. And so what we are saying to the leaders, whether you are in politics, whether you are a pastor, or whether you are in business, you really need to understand, why are the sales going down? Why are the people leaving church? Why is it that when you go into a particular place, people are not showing up for your barasas. You really need to understand that. So what are the symptoms are you able to see? And so we are saying here, we are saying some of the signs and symptoms that you really need to be looking at, and what they mean to you is, one of them is disloyalty. And every time when you see disloyalty, you just need to realize that there is betrayal, because betrayal does not announce its presence. So every time when you see disloyalty working, people are not following your direction, people are questioning you, people are rebellious, you just need to know this is betrayal of the highest order, and you need to set your house in order. Number two, as a pastor, when you see people backsliding, people not coming to your shop to buy, then you need to note, if you're a pastor, that these people are seeking power, they are selfish. Okay, there is a lot of selfishness in them, and you need to address that. That's a sign that is telling you there's a lot of selfishness. Number three, you also need to notice signs and symptoms to test or to see leadership potential. And people who have a leadership potential, number one, they are learners, they are hardworking, they are responsible, they are reliable, they work an extra mile, they are humble, they are loyal, and all these traits in combination will tell you, or actually point to, somebody who is a leader that needs to be developed, somebody who is available, somebody who works around the clock, somebody who is willing to walk an extra mile without complaining, is somebody that has leadership potential. And then again, we need to use signs and symptoms so that we can be able to see those persons that have been called for ministry, and especially for those of them that are pastors. It is very important for us to be able to note the people that are called for ministry. Number one, they have burden for ministry, they are bothered by particular issues, they will go and pray and fast, they will talk about those things, they will volunteer themselves to fix those challenges, because for them this is very important. So today, on a day like today, a day when we've lost a very important leader called John Pombe Magufuli, and we send our condolences to the nation of Tanzania. We've said 3 ways in which we can be able to lead difficult people. Number one is fight battles that you can win. Number two, we said think about the things that you see around. And then number 3, we've said use symptoms and signs to guide you in your life. Well, that was Online Class, a platform that shares ideas that can be able to change the narrative of leadership. Again, as a family, we actually send our condolences to the family of the late Dr. John Pombe Magufuli, the president of Tanzania, and we pray that the Lord is going to comfort them. We encourage you to keep on sharing, to keep on spreading the word, and kindly ensure that every Monday at 7:30 p.m. you tune in at Nice TV Kenya, Mushiwage Keno, and watch a program there, and also follow us at our YouTube channel, John Kimani. Until next week, such a time as this, remember what we always say here, inawezekana. Remain blessed. Thank you.